So kind of the first question that I had was, what does an average art therapy session look like?
At West End School, I'm with middle school boys, and so I have between 6 and 11 middle school boys, and it's like all over the place. It's like an art class, but they're more expressive. Or with the elementary school boys, it's kind of the same thing. With a family scholar house, I usually meet with just one person, and it's usually mom, who's anywhere between like 20 and 40 or 45, and they are going back to get their college degree, but they've had a whole lot of trauma in their past, usually, and so and some of them do have diagnoses, psychiatric diagnoses, and so that's, just sort of whatever they want to do, but they're making art around a particular subject or something that they're wanting to work on. And then at Kentucky Refugee Ministries last Tuesday, there were 30 women in the room, and we were all stitching a feeling something that they were feeling, and then some of the women from Cuba were really sad because Cubans are not, well, now no one is going to be allowed to come right now. I think they were all aware of that, but the Cubans particularly, we may be the last group of Cubans to come, and we're missing the beach and the summer and the warm weather, and then there's a Syrian, and there are women from Somalia, and all of them, all different languages. What I usually tell people about, let me see if I have a piece of paper, about art therapy, one of the cool things to me is that what I really love about art therapy is that it can manifest in 3 different ways. So across any of those different settings. Yeah. A typical art therapy session is made up of the process. I'll write it. So just coloring or painting can be kind of a healing thing. So if you have friends who are all over the place. Do you have any friends? Okay. Yeah. So a friend like that, it could be really helpful, or a client like that, it could be helpful for them to use a colored pencil, or a pencil, something that has a lot of control and is small. If there's somebody who's really anxious and has a really high, really high standards for themselves, they get frustrated really easily, so it's just sort of really tense. You might want to give them something like watercolors, or, obviously it depends on the person and what they're needing. You wouldn't want to just throw them one way or the other, but somebody who is needing to relax a little bit, you might let them paint, because paint is more fluid, and so you have less control over it, and so it's kind of helping you to accept that you don't have control over everything. So sometimes just the process itself can be really helpful, like the making of the art. Sometimes it is the product. So what is made is a way you're externalizing a feeling. So you're getting it out of your head, out of your body, and you're putting it down here, and you can look at it then and be like, oh my gosh, I'm really feeling very anxious. And you could talk about this instead of having to try to come up with words for this. Or a collage, or this could be, I was doodling around with that. I could talk about detail and wanting to have control over things, but it being busy or something. So sometimes the product itself can be what helps you to communicate. Like the women from Cuba, they represented a beach and the sun and sort of that warmth of what home was for them on the product. So probably the process of sewing and touching something soft was healing, but then also being able to look at this, create this piece of art and then be able to tell me and all these other women about it. So the product itself. And then the third piece is participation. So that is the being in a group of people, everybody stitching, making all different things, but realizing that they all share similar feelings about having left a home that was really meaningful to them, or left their family. And so sometimes it doesn't have to do with the art making itself or what it is, but just being in the company of somebody else who is caring and listening to you. And at any one of the settings that I've been to, it could be any one of those things each time, or a combination of them. And sometimes you hit this beautiful spot right here where it's like, all.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, the beautiful thing about art therapy is it doesn't have to be any one thing. It can be any one piece or a combination of them, and it can be meaningful anyways. So I think that's kind of a cool thing and different from just talk therapy.